Off the block, it's out, and Purdue will take it.
Colvin on the slide. What a better way to end this one on senior night.
Spectacular crowd inside Mackey Arena. Colvin puts an end to the first set.
How sweet it is! The Purdue Boilermakers punch their ticket to the Sweet 16.
Is down. History for Dave Shondell. The all-time wins leader at Purdue.
Welcome back to the Dig City Podcast. I'm Cory Palm. He's Dave Shondell. And we are brought to you by Franciscan Health, the official medical care provider of Purdue Athletics, great supporter of the Dig City show. Coach, it's been
only supporter right now.
Well, we got a lot of supporters out there.
Yeah,
but
as far as, absolutely. But we do appreciate all
anybody else wants to jump on board. We'd be happy to throw in a read and a graphic or something. But, it's been a couple weeks. You have made it all the way through training camp, and it's now game week.
Yeah, it is.
We'll talk plenty about game week and this upcoming weekend's festivities, but I don't want to glaze past how camp went. How was preseason training for this club? I know it was very important.
It was huge, and we got the extra week that we needed, but it also started to affect us a little bit too. You know, we wanted to get a lot done, and we worked really, really hard. The first 2 weeks we went twice a day, just about every day except the mandatory day off. And then we got into the third week, and it was like we were the walking wounded. People were sore everywhere, and they're dropping like flies. So we had to let up a little bit last week, and obviously this week we'll just go once now that school started here on Monday. And so we're excited to see where we're going to be, but the training's gone really well.
Good.
I feel like we hit some areas that we knew we had to be really good at and make some real progress on. We hit a lot of our team systems early. I felt like we wanted to be match ready when the season started. We didn't want to still be trying to figure some things out. So we really got into our team offense, our team defense, serve, receive, all the basic principles of being a really good team on the floor. And now I think, and I sent a note out to our players last night in our group text, just telling them that I'm confident that we have a good idea of how to play the game from a team standpoint. This week, let's really get good at some of the individual things, shot selection, delivering the ball, being disciplined on defense, blocking moves, some of the things that are going to be really important now that you feel more comfortable with the understanding of how we're going to play the game, if that makes any sense to you.
It does. You see the macro, the big picture stuff, and then you've got to focus on the little stuff to make the big picture work.
Yeah, and in the past, we would have probably been spending 60-70% on individual skills the first week or so, where I think this year we were probably spending maybe 33% on individual stuff and getting right into 6-on-6, or at least 5-on-5, or 6 against 4, whatever it might be, but just trying to get the feel of playing with people around you and understanding if the left side hitter's attacking the ball against a split block, where are you supposed to be and how we're going to transition out of that.
I'm not going to ask you to divulge any secrets, but you got a good feel for what your rotations are right now?
No.
Okay.
I really don't, to be honest. We feel like there's still some good competition. One thing we're also figuring out with a roster of 18 players, who might you redshirt?
Right. Now, I know you said, if they continue to progress and that changes as the year goes on, that can change.
Right.
You can pull the shirt.
Yeah.
At what point do you have to make the determination? You can't put it on them later.
No, you can't. In volleyball, unlike football, again, football has some rules that the rest of us don't have. And football, you can play 4 football games. You can play in 4 games, the whole game for 4 games.
Quarter of the season, yeah.
Put your toe on the floor in our sport, and you can no longer redshirt. Just put your toe on it. Coach makes a mistake and subs you into the game. Oh, wait a minute, I didn't mean to do that. Sorry.
You lost your year.
You've lost your year to redshirt. So we have to be very careful, and that's just another one of those things you have to determine before that first match. Now, you can also tell somebody, well, we're not sure yet, but while we're still trying to figure this out, I really don't want to put you into a match. We got to wait. So that's just one of those other things that as a coach and as a player you have to be on the same page with.
For sure. You had you had a lot of scrimmages, within the squad, of course, but one exhibition match against Valparaiso. You guys managed it well. It was a guaranteed 5-set event, and you guys took it 4 sets to 1. How good was it to go out there and play against a different colored jersey, and what did you learn that night?
Well, I think, in particular with this team, to play somebody was really important before the regular season begins, because we have so many moving parts and so many new pieces that have come in. Many of those played spring for us. A couple of them didn't. Keep in mind, Ryan McAleer didn't play this spring because of an injury. Dior Charles didn't play this spring because of an injury. Cash Anderson didn't play this spring because of an injury. And those are 3 people who are going to play quite a bit for us now this fall. Freshmen, obviously many of them, a couple of them weren't even around here yet. So it was nice to be able to see how they were going to respond into a situation where you're playing with a nice crowd, which is what we had, thanks to our loyal Boilermaker fans. And we went out. We were a little tight the first game, and that was the set that we lost. So of course it's an exhibition match, and it really doesn't matter. And I've always enjoyed watching how Matt Painter deals with his exhibition. He always plays somebody really good. He prefers to go on the road, it seems like, a lot to do that. And it doesn't really bother him if they get their tail beat, because it sends a message that we're not good enough. Right. Okay, so when we went out the first set against Valparaiso, who's got a good program, they've always been on the verge of the NCAA tournament, if not getting into the secondary tournament. But they beat us the first one, and I thought that was a good wake-up call for us. And then after that, we got a little bit better each particular set, and by the end, we were starting to control things a little bit like I would have hoped for.
That's good. I know you've got this week before, this week of practice before the lid lifter.
4 short days.
4 very short days.
Three of them here in Holloway, and then one will be down in Knoxville.
And you'll go down to Knoxville to play the University of South Florida, which is that's the first match of the season. That'll be Friday early afternoon.
11:30. That's how early in the afternoon it is. No, it's 11:30 because South Florida is going to play 2 matches. They're going to play us at 11:30 and then turn around, I think, at around 7 o'clock. They're going to play Tennessee.
Right.
And then us in Tennessee will jump in a bus and head to, not the same bus, by the way, and travel to Nashville, where we'll play each other 2 days later in Bridgestone at 2 o'clock.
How
Central Time, by the way.
Important to note. It'll be 2 o'clock Central.
Both of those will be Central Time.
Yeah. Right. How gratifying was it for the program to be invited to this event in Nashville?
Oh, I think it will be fun. I don't know about gratification on something like that. I like to think that Purdue has earned the opportunity to play great teams in great tournaments and in great venues like we are. My focus right now is how do we get our team prepared to play? Because when you do play in front of what I think is going to be 12 to 14,000 people at Bridgestone, you want to compete. You want to make a good showing for yourself and for the purpose of recruiting and just how far has this team come since last year, since last season ended. And I know there's a lot of question marks that people have about our program. I've got some question marks about where our team is right now, but I'm encouraged. And I can't give enough credit to our players for how hard they're working and the development that they've made, the improvements that they've made, and the time that they've spent. And more important, I don't think I've said this before very often, but I'll say it right now. They're spending more time in the gym than any team I've ever coached.
Okay.
They're over there right now, I'm sure. There's somebody in the gym right now doing something. And that's the thing that you have to have if you want to be able to compete. They have to be in the gym. And I think they recognize that there's a lot of people eyeballing this team to see where are we going to be, how good are we going to be, and who's going to get us to where we want to go. And so our athletes are working really hard to put in the time to help us get there.
Any surprises through camp, a player who took a big leap that maybe you weren't necessarily expecting?
Well, I've certainly seen some development. A lot of that, I think, came from those players that were out a lot.
Yeah.
Dior Charles, who didn't play at all during the spring, came in from Wake Forest, where she had 2 really good years, started both years for Wake Forest. We didn't see her in the spring. We weren't sure. I mean, I was just going off of what I saw on tape.
Right.
We never played her live. I remember her club team that she played on, which was a really good team. But now to see her in our gym, playing hard, jumping well, great blocker, good arm. She's been one that has done that. In the last week, Akasha Anderson, who I call Cash, I think a lot of people call Cash, it's just not me. But she really has jumped out at us in the past week. Again, she had a serious hip injury that had surgery, and she took her a little while to kind of get back into the groove, as you will. Was making lots of hitting errors and just trying too hard. She's somebody that really cares. And then she started to settle down, and she really rose a lot last week, and I expect more of that down the way. She's 6'2.5", big physical player that will give us a big block and a good offensive presence on the left side, but she's competing for that spot with some other people. Ryan McAleer was another player that didn't play in the spring. She has made a nice jump. She's playing very well right now. And then Julia Kane really has emerged beyond expectations, to be honest with you. I didn't think she would ever get to this point the way she's playing right now. She's a 6-foot-long libero/defensive specialist that covers a heck of a lot of ground and is passing at a very high level right now, passing serve at a level, and she might be one of our 2 or 3 best servers. So she's going to have to get on the floor somewhere, and she will. So that's just a few names there. We've had some people who have been sick. We had an injury. We had one player that looks like she may be out for the season, but I'm not sure if I'm even allowed to dive into that yet. But somebody that we were kind of counting on, so that was bad news. But overall, we got enough bodies to go out and put a team on the floor that will compete.
Okay. We're going to talk about the Big Ten having a big weekend that we're kind of still in the middle of here as we record this on Monday afternoon. We'll talk about the AVCA's lift off for the season and what a great success that was after the break, and we'll preview not jumping ahead, not looking past anything, but previewing the home opener.
Well, our people need to know when we're going to be back home
and
what great competition is going to be in here for those matches in Holloway.
Better than we might have expected when we first saw those dates. We'll be right back after the break. The Dig City Podcast is brought to you by Franciscan Health, the exclusive healthcare provider for Purdue Athletics. Franciscan, inspiring health, working for a better tomorrow. Go to franciscanhealth.org for more information. Now back to the show. So we opened the season in Tennessee, at Tennessee, and against Tennessee in Nashville. Get out the charts to
kind of hard to figure all that out.
It is a little weird. There's going to be a lot of orange down there this weekend, I have a feeling. There'll be some orange in week 2 for the home opener as well. You've got Georgia Tech, Bowling Green, and Kansas coming in. Bowling Green, the Falcons are orange and brown.
Yes,
that's their colors. But Georgia Tech's ranked 22 in the preseason poll, and Kansas is right above you at 14 with a big win on their resume already. So it's a really good field for the Stacey Clark Classic September 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
Yeah, and Bowling Green is, I don't know if they're picked to win the MAC this year, but they might be. They're certainly good enough. They've been one of the 2 or 3 best teams in the MAC for years and years and years, and so they'll be good. Kansas, I think, opened some eyes up this past Sunday when they played up there in Omaha and played. No, I'm sorry, in Lincoln. That was
in Lincoln. Yep, against
Pinnacle,
Vandy.
Yeah. And really played well as the match went on. They started out a little slow, but they got better as it went. Matt Ulmer, the former Oregon coach, is now the head man at Kansas, and he did a lot of juggling of personnel during the offseason, brought some players with him, brought some other players from other schools and so forth. But I think that they're going to be plenty talented to give us some trouble. Georgia Tech has been a top 25 team for as long as I can remember. They've got some foreign players. They've had to do some moving around like we have to find some players, but they got a lot of theirs from other places. We didn't go quite as far as they did. But three really good teams. It's going to be a real shootout.
It is.
With those teams, and I don't think you could establish. Maybe Bowling Green will be on the outside looking in to a lot of people that are power conference bias, but Bowling Green will be really good.
They were. I just checked. They were picked as the preseason favorite in the MAC, which is always a really strong conference.
Yeah, and they'll beat somebody in this tournament. You just don't want it to be you, but they'll find a way to get at least a win. So, but I think for our fans to see that kind of competition and for them to come out and kind of see what this new Purdue team looks like, with a lot of new faces, a lot of transfers, and so forth, that it'll be a great opportunity. And the key is it's a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday night ordeal, and we'll be playing I assume a 7 o'clock match in most of those.
Yep.
Most of those.
7 o'clock all 3 nights.
So it'll be great, to see our people come out, and there'll be no conflicts. Football, I think, is on the weekend. That weekend, who do we have coming in?
Southern Illinois on Saturday.
Illinois. So again, a good opportunity. So 5 really tough matches to start the season. I don't know who put the schedule together.
We need to have a word with that.
But what our fans have to recognize is, if you want to get in the NCAA tournament, and you want to host the first and second round, or whatever your goals are, you got to play people.
Yep.
You cannot play a bunch of patsies. That doesn't help you in any way. You're better off losing to a team that's a top 25 team than beating a team that's like some other people might schedule.
Right.
We're just not going to do that.
No, and that's one thing that for all of their bumps and bruises along the way, the committee's been pretty consistent with rewarding challenging yourself in the non-conference.
And we've done it every year. We really have. And I know our fans want to see good opponents. We need to play good quality opponents. We're talented enough that we're going to be in the match with everybody. It's just how mentally tough and confident will we be down the stretch that we can win those matches.
7 o'clock all 3 nights, the 3rd, 4th, and 5th of September. If you just love volleyball, and I mean, you're watching one of the best podcasts in America, according to some experts.
Yeah.
So you love volleyball. There's great matches in the afternoon every day too. The non-Purdue and Purdue opponent will play Georgia Tech, Bowling Green, and Kansas, and so some real Donnie Brooks, as the ball coach likes to say, should be great action. We did see some great action this past week. You've already alluded to it a bit with the ABC.
Shotgun start.
It was wild. There was some wild competition.
I mean, they sell out. Is it the Pinnacle?
The Pinnacle Arena, yeah.
Arena. Sold that baby out for every day, and you think early in the season they're playing what they call week 0, which is kind of early in the campaign if you're playing in week 0. And yet the level of play was almost frightening, especially out of 2 Big Ten squads. Nebraska and Penn State really showed what they're capable of doing. I thought they both won both their matches. I think Nebraska beat Pitt and Stanford.
Yep.
And then Penn State, you'd have to do the math.
Penn State swept Creighton.
3-0. And Creighton's good. Creighton was impressive. And those were close. Those weren't blowouts. Those were pretty close games.
Close sets for sure. But 3-0 is 3-0. Nebraska swept Stanford 3-0 and beat Pitt 3-1.
And then Penn State turned around and hammered somebody yesterday.
Didn't
they?
No, they played Kansas. They play Kansas today.
Oh, they played today.
Yep.
Kansas. Okay, but Nebraska that really put it.
Nebraska put it to Stanford.
Yeah.
So the Big Ten's already showing that it is what everybody thought it would
Minnesota plays tonight as well.
Minnesota plays tonight against Texas A&M.
And Texas A&M will be a top 3 or 4 team in the SEC. So I know that one's on national TV today.
Both the Penn State, Kansas, and they're both on Big Ten Network this evening from Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
I mean, we're finding out that the Big Ten hasn't missed a step. 1 and 2 in the national poll were the. I don't know if they're number 1 and 2 in the national poll. They should have.
They were. they were, and they will be.
Nebraska, Penn State, and Nebraska looks like they got everything that they need, don't they?
Yeah.
I mean, they are loaded for bear, and then Penn State picks up the best player in America possibly, in Kennedy Martin, who transferred from Florida, 6'6", just she's a great human being, first of all. What a great pickup for Penn State, and that put them right back in the catbird seat.
It's great. I'm just channel surfing on the last free weekend before football starts and before volleyball gets going, and in between soccer matches, and I just run across the Nebraska-Pitt game on national television. And, it's volleyball, we said the last couple of years, having a moment. Well, it's not a moment anymore. Volleyball, it feels like has fully arrived, and on the national scene, with events like this, with events like you guys are taking part in this weekend, it's such a great time for the sport.
And we really need to do our part with those Mackey matches. We're going inside Mackey, which holds 14,800 and something. Okay, folks, I think that's the number.
Yep.
Most recently provided. And we got good teams coming in. You've got Washington, Illinois, and Indiana. And those are 3 teams that'll be in the upper half of this league, okay? And if you're in the upper half of the Big Ten, then you're going to make the NCAA tournament, most likely.
Yeah.
And we need our people. We need our fans more than ever right now. This group needs to know that the Boilermakers are clearly behind them. The fans are here. And that just gives you a big boost when you get out there and you're playing those tight matches.
For sure. When you're talking about teams that are going to be in the mix for the top half of the Big Ten, that just spotlights how it ups the level of importance for all those matches when it's a conference team that you're fighting for position with.
Yeah, I think that Indiana match is the last match of the season.
It is.
Either the day after or the day before the Oak and Bucket affair.
It's it'll be the Saturday after. The bucket got moved to Friday, and the selection Sunday will be the next day. So, one last chance to.
Yeah. So there's no reason not to fill Mackey for that one, and I think the IU match will sell out. I'm hoping that we can have those big crowds also opening Big Ten weekend. But we have to show something during this non-conference season. We got to show our fans we're worthy of them paying for a ticket to come out and watch us play.
Well, can't wait to watch it. Let me get I know Sunday's match is on ESPN2. I don't believe Friday's match will be live streamed anywhere.
It's not even streamed, no.
Unfortunately.
It's like we're not even playing.
Yeah, that stinks. So if you want to see the Boilermakers start, you got to drive down to Thompson Bowling Arena.
Yeah.
And
it's a beautiful drive.
It is. It's great.
It's a great venue to play in, too. Pat Summit Court.
Yep. We swung through Knoxville this summer on one of our road trips, and a beautiful place.
Yeah.
Women's Basketball Hall of Fame's there. And go see the Boilermakers take on the Bulls on your way over to Nashville, Bridgestone Arena on Sunday.
Yeah, that will be a real, again, what a treat to play there at the Bridgestone Arena right there on Broadway and try to keep our girls focused during the prelim.
Anything else to add, Coach, before we let you? I know you got practice here in a few minutes.
We're going to get ready to get after it. Like I said, we practice here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, early Thursday morning. We fly down to Knoxville. We'll practice there, prepare, and then play at 11:30 Central Time. On Friday, we play South Florida, who, again, won their conference a year ago, won the American Conference, and putting their pieces together like everybody else right now, and then get a day of rest, and then be in Nashville playing, a good squad.
Well, good luck.
Thank you.
All right.
Boiler up.
We'll be back next week. Boiler up.